What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is another tier list in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So this is going to be a tier list of the best pink diamond cards in NBA 2K21. So lads, we were thinking of doing a pink diamond and opal one, but decided against it because I could do the rank from worst to best on opals, and now we're ranking the pink diamonds here. There's like 60 of these cards. If I forgot one, I'm sorry. And these are going to be just ranked based on only guys in this tier. There is actually one guy that I have completely forgot. There is one guy I've completely forgot because I actually had this plan to be made yesterday. I had all of these players and I just removed removed the opals out of the list, and I completely forgot. There is a dude who came out today that is not on the list. So lads, the lawyer, Mr. Jack Marin himself, the lawyer, is in S tier as far as pink diamonds go. The lawyer is an S tier pink diamond. The guy is fantastic. He is so good on both gens. He is better on current, but so good on both gens. You're gonna literally be seeing people running with the lawyer and the dentist in 250k. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, the lawyer is comparable to the dentist. I think dentist is better. The lawyer is not that far off. Then we got Aaron. First we got Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is B or C. As I'm only gonna keep 10 in each tier. I'm gonna put him C for now. He might go up to B. Gordon's good. Like, Gordon is good. He's a moderately good shooter. He's got a good player build. I've actually seen him being ran in a lot of really good player squads. So obviously he's better for most people than he is for me, but I'm gonna put him C tier. Then we got Allen Houston. I like Houston a lot. His release is really good. His dribbling's all right. He's just a sniper though. He really is just a sniper. He's a competent defender, competent going to the basket. He's competent at almost everything. But he is just a sniper. He's a guy that I'm a fan of using him. I would like him or Eddie Jones. I don't know between him or Eddie Jones. That's all I'm gonna say. Then we have got Allen Houston. I think I'll take Eddie over him actually. Not Allen Houston, Allen Iverson. He is not as bad as people like to say. He's not. I've been cooked plenty of times by Iverson. Like, is he going to have success if you are a defensive head? No. Are you going to have success with Allen Iverson if if you need someone to lock people down, or if you're trying to use him as a rim runner? You're not going to have success in any of those ways. He's got Trey Burke release on quick. He's got decent dribbling. He moves well. His release is really nice. Obviously, got gold range. You put clamps on the guy. I think D tier. I think D tier is a fair spot for him. He's really, really decent. Not great. He's decent. Then we got Alonzo Mourning. No, he's not A tier. He's B tier. Alonzo's really good, man. He's really good. He's one of the most underrated centers in the game. He's on the level, I think it is Anthony Davis here. Obviously, AD shoots better. Alonzo Mourning is a lot of things better. So, he's B tier. Amari Stoudemire. I don't think I have the likes of Elton Brand and stuff on this list. I'm actually only ranking the best pink diamonds, so I don't have any of the really, really bad pink diamonds here. I've just realized that I don't have the really bad ones, so I think I might have to move both of these down a tier. Yeah, so Amari Stoudemire, he's one of the worst cards in this list, going to worthless, but he's not terrible. He's not terrible. I should not have called this tier worthless. I should have just called it F tier because I didn't. There's a lot of worthless pink diamonds. None of them really are on this list. So there are a lot of worthless cards that I could have put in that I decided not to. Iguodala. This is again a tough one because some people would prefer an Iguodala to an Allen Houston, because it's basically Houston's a much better shooter, Iguodala's a better dunker and defender. I'd take Houston over Iguodala. I understand if you want to put Iguodala in B tier. I'm not the biggest fan of this card though. I really am not. He's good though. He's good. He might get moved up. Him and Aaron Gordon I think are on the same tier, but maybe you could argue these guys should be down, or you could argue that both of these should be up, but these four are kind of close, but in my opinion, I would take these two over these two. Then we got Anthony Davis, AD, B tier. AD's good. He shoots the ball well. Does a lot of different things well to Alonzo Mourning, but I think in terms of their overall quality, they're similar. Alonzo Mourning's a lot faster. He gets rebounds better, is a better defender, whereas AD obviously shoots the ball better because release is better. Ben Gordon, A tier. Ben Gordon, fantastic player. Fantastic player. Like, I don't quite think he's good enough to be S tier, but the guy can dribble, the guy dunks. He can't curry, which is a little bit of a flaw, but man, he's really good, man. He's really good. Release is great, dunking's great, speed's great, everything's great about this card in offense, especially at the point guard position. Ben Simmons. This is a really tough one because between S or A. If you know how to use Ben Simmons and you have the right team around him and you're also coming up against a not great opponent, Ben Simmons is S tier. But there's a but, he can't shoot the 3-ball, and I cannot put someone with a 55 3-ball in S tier. Like in the top like 15, 20 card. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Simmons. I've not formed enough of an opinion on him whether or to put him in S tier. But I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted. I'm gonna keep him A tier for now, but I'm very tempted to move him up. Blake Griffin, S. No question about that. Blake Griffin's still one of the best cards in the game. It's mad though, like, we have about 5 centers this year that if this was last May would be the best center in the game. Like, the center position we really have, like, Blake Griffin set a bad precedent for those point centers, considering the fact he came out the first person to got him. I think who was the first person to get him, or Bud was the first person, one of those two guys, and like they literally got him on the 10th of November. The only reason I remember that is they got him the literal day that the Xbox came out, because I was in the middle of recording a gameplay for Blake Griffin while my Xbox came in the door. That's the only thing I remember. But yeah, so Bobby Jones, B tier. B tier, elite defender, good enough shooter, not an incredible shooter, but good shooter. Like, good enough that he's more than competent shooter, but it's not like he's this absolute game-changing player in terms of shooting. So I think B tier is probably the most fair spot for Bobby Jones. A good card. Like, a really good card. Don't get me wrong, but I think B tier is fair. But Pettit, I mean, he's cheesy. He's a half-ranging center player. He's quick. He just can't move laterally. His only downside is lateral quickness. But is lateral quickness enough to put him to C or B? I'm going to put him D. My opinion changes on this guy, and despite me not having used the guy, because I've used every one of these cards. I've used them for gameplays, I've used them on other people's accounts, I've tried out all these cards, I know what all the cards are about, but I just have to think about the general meta of the game and think about where the meta is going. Like, for example, before players had ultra high speed, somebody like a Larry Bird Diamond would have been better than, say, a Baylor Diamond or Baylor Opal at the very start of the year. But as time went on, they became kind of harder to hide. They became less good. Like a Pink Diamond T-Mac. Pink Diamond T-Mac is still equally as, like, at the time he came out, he was one of the best cards in the game because you could hide him. You can't hide him anymore. So the game changed around the card. The card didn't change. But it's getting harder and harder to hide Pettit week by week because you can't even play him at center anymore because there's too many mobile centers. Heck, even DeAndre Ayton's going to eat him alive. So I don't think there's anywhere to hide him, but he's D tier. Bradley Beal. I mean, he's like worse Allen Houston. I mean, he's 6'3". I'm putting him D tier. He's a 6'3" guy who can't play the point guard. Yeah, he's a pro 3 behind the back and go release. He's D. He's D. Byron Beck. He's better than Bobby Jones. But is he enough better than Bobby Jones to put him a tier ahead? I don't know. If I'm gonna put Embry can play center. He's better than Embry, but he doesn't have the same position. He's not able to play center like Embry. I'll give him B tier. B tier, but tempted to put him higher. B tier, but tempted to put him higher. I'm gonna have a lot of bigs in B tier, aren't I? Because I'm like, I think Shaq is as good as, is better than these two guys. But yeah, so Cam Reddish. He's still A. I love Cam Reddish. Like, I know a lot of people are not as high on Cam Reddish as they used to be. I'm still equal. I've still loved him from the very start. Like, there's a reason why I used him as my 2 guy for the longest time. There's a reason why still to this day I have considered locking in for the guy. I love Paul George, and he's basically like slightly downgraded, but a lot more attainable Paul George. A shooter, a good defender, a decent dribbler on current gen, bad dribbler on next gen. Just an overall good card. Again, the only reason why I'm not going to lock him in my nobody spent account is the fact that I do not believe he's as good as the lawyer. I don't believe he's as good as Danny Granger, and I do not believe he is as good as, say, a Glenn Robinson, who I have on my team. I would definitely have him in over Eddie Jones, but like, there's no point locking in for a card when Eddie Jones is fine. Colin Sexton. This is a close one. This is another ARS because he's better than Ben Gordon. It's a weird one. I'm going to put Sexton here, but if Sexton comes up against Simmons, Simmons eats Sexton alive. So it's hard. But also, if Simmons comes up against Derrick Rose, he eats Derrick Rose alive. And Derrick Rose is a beast. Sexton's way better than Derrick Rose, by the way. But yeah, let me put Sexton next. I'm a huge fan of this card. Dan Issel. I mean, Dan Issel's a sniper. He's like better Kevin Love. I don't know if I can put him. He's a different type of player to Bobby Jones or Beck. I don't know if I can put him A tier. I'm gonna put him B for now anyway. You got Granger. No question about it. Granger's S tier. Granger's one of the best cards in the game. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Granger is one of the best cards in the game on both gens. I went and played a little bit of TTO earlier on current gen. Man, Granger carried me. And then on next gen, Granger out here hitting from the halfway line. Granger is so good, man. He is so good. Once you get his release down, there's a little bit of a hitch because it's on quick. Once you can get that down, the guy is so cash. His handle's good. He's 6'9", 2 guard. Granger's one of the best cards in this game. Then we got Boogie. A tier? I really like Boogie though. I would be tempted. I would be very tempted to put him in. I think I'm going to put him in S. Yeah, I'm going to give Boogie. I'm going to put Boogie in S tier. One of the top centers in this game. A shooter, a ball handler. His stats are ridiculous. I really like Boogie Cousins. Derrick Rose. Similar. He's like worse Ben Gordon. But I do think he's in the I do think he's an A tier player. Half Showtime. I don't like his release on normal. I do like it on quick. Ben Gordon is Derrick Rose release on quick. Derrick Rose is Derrick Rose on normal. I do think Ben Gordon is better in almost every way except for the half Showtime. But D-Rose is good. Dwight Howard. I mean, it's hard because what he does, he's pretty good in terms of. No, let me put him C tier. He doesn't bring as much as he's not as good as Alonzo Mourning. Let me put him C tier. George Gervin. I mean, B. He's fine. He does everything all right. He is like your typical jack of all trades guy that does everything on the court, but it's not like he excels in anything. It's not like people are going to say, oh, we need to pick up George Gervin for anything. He was the lock-in set for Double Take, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Double Take? Yeah, I think it was Double Take. And yeah, he was good. He's good. He's just meh. Like, there's nothing about the guy. He's just meh. That's the only way to describe him. George Mcginnis. I don't know if he's bad, but I don't know if he's like, when he's badged up, he's better than Aaron Gordon. Like, badged up, he's not half bad, and he can play as a small ball center. So yeah, C tier. Like, his stats are decent. He's just bad for a lock-in. Giannis. C. I can't see. I do not see any situation where Giannis is better than Bobby Jones. I just don't. If you want to go and cheese with a Giannis card, like, he's not even nearly as cheesy as Ben Simmons because he can't play point guard. And Ben Simmons just has way cheesier animations than Giannis. That's all I'm going to say. And Ben Simmons is like a mismatch problem. Maybe you can argue Ben Simmons a power forward is Giannis a power forward as good as Ben Simmons a power forward, but Giannis can't play point guard, which is a big thing. Which is a big thing. Like, maybe you could argue B tier for Giannis. I don't like him. Have him C tier. And I've never been destroyed by Giannis. I've been destroyed plenty of times by Simmons. Grant Hill. Oh, this is another tough one. I prefer Radish over Grant Hill. But do I prefer Bobby Jones over Grant Hill? Nah, give me A tier for Grant Hill. Give me A tier, badged up Grant Hill. He's still got the good animations, just not the greatest shooter. Isaiah Thomas. I mean, C tier. He's fun, man. Just for how fun Isaiah Thomas is to use, I'm putting him in C tier. Like, this dude here on next gen, my god, some of the stuff that he does. His shooting is elite. The guy greens from everywhere. The guy can dunk it on people. Yeah, he's a liability because he's 5'9". But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta say, this guy is fun to use. And that is what I'm saying about Isaiah Thomas. Like, yeah, you're not going to see him in a competitive setting, but my God, he's a player that whenever I use him, whenever I see him on an account and I have a chance to use him, I think he is so fun. He is not the player I would use if I was to pick my team to win a game. Give me about 10 point guards over him, but man, he's fun. He's so fun. Then we got Jamal Crawford. He's fun as well, but he's not as fun as Isaiah Thomas. He's got Trey Burke release on normal. Handle's alright, dunking's alright. Like, you gotta badge him up a lot, and still, he just doesn't feel like he's a top tier point guard. He feels just like a taller Allen Iverson. Jameer Nelson, I mean, he's not good. I've used him. He's not even as fun as Isaiah. He's like Isaiah Thomas, but he can't dunk. He's like, imagine a worse Isaiah Thomas putting Curry slide. He's not it. I've used him. Used him both ends. I thought I would love Jameer Nelson. I really thought I would love Jameer Nelson, because there's no reason not to love him. Like, he's basically, in terms of like stats and stuff, he's like Colin Sexton without the dunking. But my God, he doesn't feel as good. He does not feel nearly as good. So D tier is where Jameer Nelson is going. So then we got James Harden. I mean, he's good on next gen. I think that might keep him off the worth list here. It does keep him off the worth list here, but like, there is a massive gap between these guys badged up and James Harden. I'm sorry, there's a massive gap. Jason Richardson. He's like similar to Eddie Jones when he's badged up, so yeah, like, give me B tier. Give me B tier, J Rich. He's very similar badged up to Eddie Jones, but like, what? There's just no point buying him because Eddie Jones is a cheaper and better version of him. Jaylen Brown. I'm starting to go off Jaylen Brown. I really am, but like, he is a B tier player. It's just there's so many good 2/3s. The 2-guard/3 position, like, there are so many great ones. Like, if you asked me a month ago, these two guys would be in a much higher tier. Especially Jaylen Brown. Like, he would have been a month ago, would have been in like S or A tier. But there's just so many at that specific position. Like, I think Grant Hill's better. I think Grant Hill's probably going to be the lowest of A tier at that position. Jason Tatum. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. Like, if you were to ask me who I would take, Jason Tatum or badged up Byron Beck, I'm taking badged up Byron Beck. But off rip, he's good, man. He doesn't need really any badges. Off rip, he's good, but I'm putting him in B tier. I'm putting him in that third tier. I know a lot of people are going to want him in A tier. I'm putting him in that B tier. I cannot justify him going a tier above Byron Beck. But again, Jaylen Brown badged up and Tatum badged up are very similar. Embiid, A tier. I like Embiid more than most people like Embiid. I'm sorry, I really like Embiid. He shoots the ball well. His release is good, especially on next gen. His player model is huge. Embiid in general for me in 2K is one of those players that I've always really liked. Well, actually no. I liked him in 20. I hated him in 19 previously because he had the horrible release where he stepped inside the 3-point line. Then we got Wall. I mean, at this stage, give me C tier for John Wall. I get it. If you are somebody that relies on half showtime, you know what, Wall can be effective. But like, he's nowhere near as good as Rose. He can't shoot from range, which is such an important part of playing the point guard position. Like, there are literally 20 people in the world where John Wall can be a really effective point guard. If you're not one of those 20 people, he can be a massive liability. Like, he can be a liability. And so can this guy here. He's just worse Bobby Jones. Josh Smith is worse Bobby Jones. I like Josh Smith. He's just worse Bobby Jones. And also, Josh Smith and Aaron Gordon, I think, are very comparable. I think, obviously, Gordon a little bit better shooter, in my opinion. Josh Smith a bit of a better defender. Like, Josh Smith, Andre Iguodala, Aaron Gordon, I think they're all on the same level. Which, again, if you want to argue a level higher, is fine. But I think C tier is best. But again, like, my whole thing with these tier lists is that it's very rare that anyone is 2 tiers off. Maybe John Wall, because a playstyle, might be 2 tiers off. Maybe you might have Simmons down here, depending on your playstyle. But for most of these players, normally, what I will always say is, people going crazy that I have players 1 tier high, 1 tier below. It's just my opinion. It is just my opinion. Normally, everything's kind of 1 tier. J.R. Smith, A tier. Fantastic card. Fantastic card. Not as good as Granger. Definitely not as good as Granger. And I think, if I was in terms of scoring, give me Colin Sexton over him. But still, he's got that release. He's got range. His value is awful. Just get the diamond. But yeah, he's A tier. Dr. J. I mean, Dr. J is no better than badged up Jaylen Brown. Badged up Dr. J is no better than badged up Jaylen Brown. He's missing so many badges. It's going to cost you so much lock him in, then another like 200k to badge him up. Even now with the badge prices tanked, it's still going to cost you close to 200k to badge him up. He's missing that many key ones. Junior Bridgeman, we got the CEO right here. I mean, badge up Junior Bridgeman's out here. I really like badge up Junior Bridgeman. He's got like a handle. He's got a jumper. He's got the Zion Williamson jumper from last year, or the Wes Unseld jumper. He's got, he's really nice. Am I mistaken in saying he can curry? I cannot remember. I'm going to look that up now. I cannot remember if Junior Bridgeman can curry. His currying is important. He cannot curry, but still, he's fantastic even without it. He's really, really good. He's A tier, no question. Kemba Walker. I mean, he's E tier. He's no better than Iverson, but I liked using him. I had a lot of fun when I used Kemba Walker, so it's a E tier, but you know what? You're still good. It's a you're still good E tier type player. Kevin Durant. I mean, if you're talking next gen, this guy's S tier. If we're talking overall, he's A tier. Like, some of the stuff, the animations Kevin Durant gets on next gen are crazy. Nothing spectacular on current gen. He's very good on current, but like not spectacular. But man, some of his animations next gen just separate him. Just absolutely separate him from other players. He's fantastic. Chris Middleton. I mean, he's like, you know the way sometimes you'll get angry at players? Like, you know, like if you want to rate performances, there are some guys in the game that can give you a 10 out of 10 performance, and then they can be awful for you and give you like a 2 out of 10 performance. And then there's a Chris Middleton. Every game you play with Chris Middleton is going to be a 7 out of 10. You know what you're getting with Chris Middleton. You know that he is going to put in a shift. He's going to hit every shot he's left wide open. You know he's going to play competent defense. He's got good length. You just know what he's going to give you. He is that Mr. Consistency. And I rate that so much. A player that I know every time they touch. It's why I like Glenn Robinson so much. It's why I like Glenn Robinson. I know he's not going to shoot the ball more than 7 times in a game for me. But I know if I give him 5 wide open threes, he's hitting at least 4 of them. And I'm the same way about Chris Middleton. So I'm putting Chris Middleton in 8th here. Give me Chris Middleton over Cam Reddish. Give me Chris Middleton over Grant Hill. The way I play the game. Heck, there are times where you could give me Chris Middleton over J.R. Smith. He is one of those guys that just makes... He improves almost every team. Like, he's just a card that I really like. He's a top tier card. Kobe, S tier. Kobe's good, man. You got, like, Kobe's release, people have kind of underrated it. Like, it's probably the best upper in the game. Kobe upper. There's a lot of good uppers, but Kobe's is up there. But his base on next gen is so good. Base on current gen is great. In general, Kobe Bryant, one of the best cards in the game. I think I might have to change some of these tiers up. Let me just fill out some of the lower players. Tracy McGrady. It's mad, but again, it's just kind of the meta. You can't hide T-Mac anymore. Like, you cannot hide T-Mac. You run T-Mac against anybody, they will run by him for the whole game. He's better on next gen. Next gen, you're probably looking B tier for T-Mac, but I'm putting T-Mac in D tier right now. It is just the better other cards get, the worse this T-Mac gets. So even though when they came out, Tracy McGrady is probably better than Iguodala. Not probably, he was better than Iguodala. It's just you can still play Iguodala now, but you're going to struggle to play T-Mac. Then, let me put in some of the lower players. Camby, you get in there with Amari Stoudemire. Okay, who else is quite low? LeBron's good, Magic's good, Maurice Lucas is decent. Penny? I don't care that Penny's a 6-7 point guard that can curry slide. He can't do anything. He's not fast. He can't play defense. He can't hide him. He's like, imagine Tracy McGrady without everything that makes Tracy McGrady good and point guard position. He's garbage. Penny Hardaway's a garbage man. He is not good at all in this game. Just like he wasn't good at the game. He's a retro from 2K19. Just like he was terrible in 2K19, he is not good in this game right here. We got Ray Allen and Sam Jones. And they're like worse versions of Allen Houston. Sam Jones only 6'4", so you can't even use him anymore as a 3-and-D wing, 3-and-D cone. So, like, as much as I liked, again, Sam Jones, a player that I really like, who's just gotten so many great wings that don't shoot the ball, and he doesn't shoot the ball nearly as well. Like, he doesn't shoot the ball nearly as well as Allen Houston. Like, Houston, you could drop him down. I will drop Houston down here. I'm going to drop Houston down one. So I think Houston kind of looks out of place there. These guys are all better than Houston. So, yeah, give me him in C tier. So, are there any other bad cards left? I know some people are going to say Walt's bad, but I really like Walt Frazier. Okay, so we're going to go with Maurice Lucas next. And he's like a tier below Bobby Jones. He's one of the best defensive centers in the game. He is one of the best defensive players to run at the center position in the game. The guy's fantastic. The guy plays lanes, he defends, he can hit a wide open shot occasionally. The guy is absolutely fantastic. He just doesn't really play offense. And by doesn't really play his offense bad enough that he's down in C tier, despite being an elite defensive player. Terry Dishinger, S tier. No question about that. The dentist is S tier. Although the jury is still out on whether or not the dentist is a real card. So while the lawyer has been proven to be real, as I managed to pick up the lawyer has been proven to be real. The dentist has not yet proven to be real. So the dentist is maybe a hypothetical dentist card, could be S tier, but as soon as he's proven to be real, then he'll be an S tier because his stats and animation stuff are ridiculous. We got Kristaps. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm putting Kristaps in S tier. A lot of people are going to argue Kristaps should be an A. I love pick and pop big men. Like, I really like pick and pop big men. He's mobile, plays lanes. I like Kristaps. I like Kristaps a lot more than most people. Then we got Larry Bird. A. Like, as a power forward, because of how good he is at shooting the ball, he's definitely a step up over like a Byron Beck or something. He's also really underrated in terms of his mobility. His just ability to do other things like dunk the ball is also very, very underrated. He's A tier. LeBron James. I mean, if we're talking next gen, he's A. We're talking current gen, he's C or B. He's not as good as Bob E. Jones on current gen, but he's also very good on next gen. I'm torn, but I'm gonna put him B tier. I am torn. I'm not a fan of him on current gen, but on next gen he's a beast. Although he's nothing on the Opal LeBron. The Opal LeBron's so much better. Magic Johnson. A tier. I mean, he's cheesy. He is ultra cheesy, so I'm going to put him in A tier. And he's not quite as cheesy as Ben Simmons, but he does shoot the ball a lot better from 3. Like, you can't leave Magic wide open. You got to give Magic some badges, though. But I'm going to give Magic Johnson an A tier spot just out of cheesiness. Oscar Robertson. My favorite point guard in this game, S tier. You might say I'm crazy, but Oscar Robertson and Danny Granger, those two guys that came out. I said it then. I said it now. Then I say it again now. I believe they're two of the best cards in their respective positions. Oscar Robertson's still my starting point guard. He has carried me. He's been one of my best players. Oscar Robertson is a card that I'm a massive fan of, and it'll be a while before I replace him, I think, because he is one of my favorite cards in this game. Curry slide, good release, good dunking, good handle, pro 3 behind the back. The guy's got it all. S tier in my opinion. Paul George. Hey, no doubt about it. I like Paul George a lot more than most people do, but like, he's just better Cam Reddish. He's definitely not good enough to be a S tier. Like, Paul George is not even on the same stratosphere as Oscar Robertson, Kobe Bryant, or Danny Granger, or the dentist. But Paul George is definitely, I think, the best wing. Maybe him, Junior Bridgeman, sorry, on A tier. Or apart from obviously next gen Kevin Durant. But on current gen, I think he's very, very nice as well. So he's going A tier. Shaq. He's an A tier next gen player. He's like a high B tier current gen player. I'm going to put him high B tier. I like Shaq though. Shaq can... Actually, sorry, no. He's like a low B current gen player. He's a high A tier, low S tier player on next gen. The guy he's got super speed. He's just unguardable on next gen. He's a little bit like Simmons, except less cheesy on current gen. Like, the same way you use Simmons, the same way you can dominate with Shaq. Okay, then we are going for Vince Carter. I mean, silver range, but a good release. He's only got silver clamps. I mean, C. High C. Like, is he better than Allen Houston? Not really. Is he better than Giannis? Not really. Like, if I've got Giannis and Houston down this tier, this is where he's going. Like, he's not as good as Griffin. He's not as good as Dr. J. He's not as good as LeBron. Not as good as Badge of Jaylen or Badge of J. Rich. So, yeah, he's going C tier. Walter Davis. Low A. Low A. I think he's a good card. I think Walter Davis fully badged up is like a worse version of the Opal T-Mac. Walter Davis really, really nice. 6'6", all the T-Mac SIGs. Only an 82 3-pointer and a lack of hot zones kind of kills him on current gen. Next gen, fantastic. So, nah, his lack of hot zones is what keeps him off. He's one of these tiers. Let me just put him low A. Walt Frazier, wherever Derrick Rose is. They're completely different cards, but I mean, they are so opposite that you can contrast them. Everything Rose does well, Frazier doesn't do well. If you can get Frazier's release down, he's a really nice card. He's like, imagine a much worse Colin Sexton. He's like a Curry, like Frazier can curry and plays way better defense than Rose. Rose dunks better, and in my opinion, they both shoot very, very similarly. So I always brought these two guys together. I know a lot of people will say Rose is way better than Walt Frazier. For me, Walt Frazier plays better on current gen and next gen. I've used them both on both gens. I prefer Frazier, but I know most people will say Rose, and but each to their own. I think both of them belong in A tier. Wayne Embry, A. Hey, Wayne Embry's good. Wayne Embry's a really, really good card. Still more than usable in game. Still a very effective card. Zach Levine. Actually, man, I'm putting Levine in A tier. Walter Davis has got to go down. I really want to move Chris Middleton. I really think I should move Chris Middleton down, but he's so good for me. He's so good for me. So, I'm keeping Middleton in there. But Wayne Embry, elite. Zach Levine, Curry slide, great release. He's like better Walter Davis in my opinion, and a way better 3-pointer. But Steph Curry, this is a close one because again, if we're talking current gen, Steph belongs in A tier, and there's no question about that. But if we're talking next gen, Steph is still the best. He's not as good as Colin Sexton on next gen. I will say that, and he's debatable with Oscar Robertson, but he's still one of the best. So Steph, you are holding on to your spot in S tier based on the fact that you're unguardable on next gen. So yeah, that is it. That is the Pink Diamond tier list, lads. These are all the cards. Let me know if what you guys agree with, what you guys disagree with. And as always, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.